1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
AL Divisional, White Sox at Tigers.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971-74 Carryover League Divisional round of the playoffs with a big series between the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Let's take a look at the overall standings and the brackets and the final eight, the Elite Eight, as we say, who's still around from division winners to wild card. In the American League, well, 1 and 2 got a bye, of course. Well, 5 and 6, you know what? They both got knocked out, Yankees and Blue Jays. Yankees lost 3 out of 4 to the White Sox. Toronto did an amazing job with the A's, could not get a win in Game 5. Took them to the 9th inning of Game 5, losing by a run. So Toronto gets your merit badge on that one. In National League, the only wild card team to advance is the Phillies, because they played the expansion Portland team. And most expansion teams lose in the wild card round, which is why we put 4 of them in one league. And yeah, it's so I know you can look at it in 2 ways. One is that the National League loses a traditional MLB team to a playoff spot, right? Because one of these teams has to go. And the other way of looking at it is that, well, those playoff teams, one of them gets to beat up on them, and that was the Phillies. Phillies will play the Pirates, Phillies will play the Braves, and the Pirates will visit the Giants. But today we are in the American League, and wow, these 2 teams, White Sox and your Detroit Tigers, this could be a fun one, folks. You see, Tigers ran away with the #1 seed. White Sox were right there making a bid for that, but they then fell hard to the Oakland A's, losing 4 straight. They redeemed themselves by winning 3 out of 4 against the Yankees. And now they've got a card they can play. We're going to look at the playoff bracket here now. A card the White Sox can play that no other team can. It's the Wilbur Wood card. I'll get to that in a moment. I want to also mention that in the divisional round, which is where we are at, this is another one of my changes that I adopt from other sports, in this case the NBA. For this round of 7, I'm going to go with the 2-2-1-1-1 format, home and away games that the NBA uses, just for the divisional rounds. What this does is it gives your gaudy 1 and 2 seeds that earned a bye even a little more incentive to advance by having Game 5 in their ballpark. Because if you split the first 2 games at home and then it goes to the other ballpark, you lose 3 straight, you're done. You don't get to see your home fans again. So 2-2-1-1-1, just in the divisional round as to help protect the 1s and 2s. You're wondering why I've done that? I've done these carryover leagues for so long, and I've seen 1s and 2s get bounced pretty regularly. And possibly even tonight with the White Sox and Tigers playing. I've seen them getting bounced enough that I wanted to use that format. Now, after that, of course, in your League Championship Series and in the World Series, it's traditional 7 games, 2-3-2. The other big factor here, we're going to look at pitching rotation, is here is your divisional round bracket, Game 1. And it is 5 straight games, and then you get a day off, and then 2 more games. I can go all the way back to the beginning of the season, if you were wondering this question. Back in March, and here is March, and it was 4 games, then you had a day off. And then beyond that, you play 5 games, and you get a day off. And that is the format. And the reason I chose that to do that for an entire season, and not just this season, but this postseason tournament I do, same thing. Here's your postseason tournament round of 7 is 5 and 2. Then the next round is 3, 4, 5. The next round is 3. And then our wild cards are 5 straight days, and here we are in your divisional round. The reason I did that is so that you can get yourself more days off by sweeping your opponent or getting swept. If you sweep your opponent in a best of 7, you get 3 more days off. So there are plenty of ways of getting extra days off in your schedule. So if you beat up on somebody, you get rewarded by restarting your fantastic pitching rotation. If you get beat up and lose 4 straight, well, at least the next series you begin, your ace will be on the mound and try and recover your losses. Wilbur Wood. My goodness, folks. My goodness. Wilbur freaking Wood. We have to, actually, I don't want to go to his baseball reference. I need to go over here. I'm going to go to the 71 original Wood so we can go over the Wood factor for you and understand what's really happening here. So in the instruction book here, it says that players with an asterisk can pitch on 3 days rest. Let's go back and look at the 72 one. The 72 one for Wood. It says down here, I guess I gotta enlarge this. Here we are. Let's enlarge this for a second. Here we go. For most realistic play when possible, allow only above pitchers preceded by an asterisk to start once every 4 games. 3 games between starts. All other starters should start once every 5 games. 4 days between starts. Then it says, Wilbur Wood may be started once every 3 games. 2 games rest between starts. Wilbur Wood. Yes, Wilbur Wood is allowed that dubious distinction. Not dubious. Wilbur Wood is allowed to do it because he pitched 5,000 innings or whatever heck it was in these years. So 71, 334, 72 and 73, 376 and 359, 44, 49 and 49 starts. So we're kicking in the Wood clause into the playoffs. Now that takes, if I had a handicap, that takes like a number 4 seed White Sox team and bumps them up to like a 2 seed. Because in the divisional round, only Wilbur Wood gets 3 starts. In the League Championship Series, the same thing potentially could happen. Only in the World Series can most other starters, aces, pitch on 3 days rest. Because in the World Series, I play a game 1, a day off, and then I have 2 and 3, and then that same pitcher can pitch in game 4, 2 more days, another day off before game 7. And so that's how I can have every other, the Mickey Lolich, Jim Palmer, Vida Blue, Phil Negro. If they pitch in game, they could pitch games 1, 4, and 7 in the World Series. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. This is the first time this has ever happened. I've had a pitcher pitch on 2 days rest, and also it would suggest that if they were willing to do it to that guy in the regular season, why would you stop doing it in the playoffs? Or if anything, because I don't play 162 games, theoretically, this guy's arm is well rested. He doesn't, he hasn't pitched over 300 innings. So that's what we have in this series and this matchup. My goodness, folks. You can't ask for better baseball than this in the divisional round. You got Wilbur Wood for the White Sox in game 1, Bradley in 2, Stan Bonson in 3, back to Wilbur Wood in game 4, and then their swing starter Lou Krause in game 5. A day off, back to Wood and Tom Bradley. For the Tigers, they're just going to march their rotation down. Lolich, Joe Coleman, Bill Hands, Tom Timmerman, back to Mickey Lolich, back to Joe Coleman and Bill Hands. That sets us up for a game 1. What a battle. Wilbur freaking Wood. Let's give you his stats. 22 and 13, 191 ERA in 334 innings. And Mickey Lolich. My goodness. 22 and 14 with a 250 ERA in 327 innings. on the mound in the final game of the 1968 World Series, and not much has changed for Olich. He's still at the top of his game, top of his form here. Let's get started from Tiger Stadium, the little ballpark, the shoebox park. They hosted the All-Star game, and now their number 1 seed Tigers are at home against the White Sox. Leading off for the Chi Sox today, it'll be Walt Williams. Walt Williams, 412, flies to right. Louis Aparicio, 66, is a base hit. Carlos May, 1-6, is a fly ball to center. And with 2 outs, it's Dick Allen. 57 is a K. Bottom of 1, it's Billy Grabarkowitz. 54, center X. Center fielder is Henderson, a 2E6. Oops. And Henderson drops the ball, the 2E6. Not a good start. Al Kaline, 1-5. Let's take a look at Al Kaline's card of 1971. 294, 15 homers, 82 walks. And right there, that is gone. And you can take your 2 days rest and put it you-know-where, is what your Detroit Tigers have just said. Because they just got Wilbur Wood's run average, not earned run average since there was an error, but they already got their 2 runs in the first 2 batters. Mickey Stanley, 111, grounds are short. Willie Horton, 53, pitcher. And Norm Cash, 68, lines the first. 2-0 Tigers. Top of 2, Ken Henderson. 3:10 left. Bill Melton, 410, center. Tom Egan, 58, is a K. Bottom of 2. Bill Freehan, 43, right X. Right fielder is a Bradford's 2E3 and right. He makes the grab. Jerry Terrell, 1-9, is single. B. Steeler. Egan plus 2 arm catcher. Northrop's going to try a hit and run here. And it's a hit and run. It's going to be a single on the deuce, on the snake eyes. That'll be a single. Terrell ends up at third. Runners in the corners, 1 out. They're going to play back for a double play here of Tom Verizor. 2-4 lines the first. And with 2 outs, back up top to Billy Grabarkowitz. 5'11", pitcher X. Pitcher Wood is an E6 pitcher, and he makes the play. Top of the third, Buddy Bradford, 4-4, center X. This is Mickey Stanley, 1E5, makes the catch. Bucky Dent, 49, second X. And they have Terrell here today, 3E29. Makes the play. Normally it's McAuliffe, but he has the day off against the lefty. Walt Williams, back up top, 45, flies to center field. Bottom of the third, Al Kaline. 69, pops to third. Mickey Stanley, 46, is a base hit. Willie Horton, here's a who, 66, pops to second. And Norm Cash, 2-2, grounds the third. Folks, do you find that when you have a battle of lefties or a battle of righties, the games go faster? For me, it does, because I'm always focusing on one particular side of the card the entire time and not getting slowed down momentarily, remembering who's the lefty and who's the righty. Does that happen for you guys? I'm just curious. It happens to me, and I love it when I have a couple lefties out there. Aparicio, 58's a K. Carlos May, 43, first X. First baseman is a 2E11, Norm Cash. Makes the play. Dick Allen, 69, flies to center. The White Sox, not doing much today, just a hit thus far. Bill Freehan, 66, pops out. Jerry Terrell, 39, single 1 of 5, lines out. And with 2 outs, it's Jim Northrup, 53, first. Jim Northrup is a 307 hitter, batting 8th because of the wood factor. Top of the 5th, Ken Henderson, 58 is a K. Bill Melton, 6'10", third X. Third baseman Grabarkowitz, he's actually good at third. He's a 2E14. He makes the play. He's actually, it's funny, he's the best defensive second, third, and shortstop they have on this team. But unfortunately, he can only play one position at a time. 2 outs now. It's Tom Egan. 58 is a K. Well, look at that. Just one hit, one batter over the minimum for Mickey Lolich. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th. A long fly ball to K-line and a drop fly ball by Ken Henderson is your scoring today. Tom Verizor, 56, flies to left. Billy Grabarkowitz, 1-6, is a walk. Al K-line, 6'12", skies to left, and with 2 outs, it's Mickey Stanley, 66, pops to second base. Into the 6th we go. Buddy Bradford, 39, short. Bucky Dent, 65, second C. Walt Williams, 35. Here's a single chance. Single one of 15, and we got a base runner. C. Steeler, free N -2 arm. He'll stay put down a couple. Louis Aparicio, 1-3, pops to third base. 2-hitter for Lolich. Bottom of the 6th. It's Willie Horton. 57's a K. Norm Cash, 2-8. Let's take a look at the Norm Cash card. Boy, Norm, got to be 36-ish, 7-ish. I'm telling you, these Tigers. I know 68 they won the World Series, but these guys just cruised along into the early 70s as if they, you know, Ponce de Leon, they found the fountain of youth. They didn't age at all. I'm talking about, you know, Northrup and Gates Brown and McAuliffe and Freehan and Stanley and Horton and K-line. They play into their mid-30s and they're great. Cash was in the All-Star game. 32 homers and a 283 batting average. 2-8 is homer 1-17 and it's gone. 3-0. Bill Freehan, 56, flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Jerry Terrell. 38, a base hit, and the role player, utility player, is 2 for 3. He's going to try a steal with a big 3-0 lead, and he's successful. He's at second base for Jim Northrup. 48 off of Wood is a strikeout. So, they will put Dick McAuliffe in the game for Terrell. Better defense to help Lolich in the final 3. Both pitchers are starter 9s. They could go 10. If the Chi Sox rally, they could both go 10. Top of the 7th. It'll be Carlos May. 4-10. Pops to second. Just can't get that leadoff guy on to get this thing ignited. Dick Allen. 5-10. Catcher's card. We have Freehan, a 2E13. Makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Ken Henderson. 6-10. Third X. Grabarkowitz, 2E14, third baseman, makes the play. This is the quietest we have seen the Chi Sox all year, not even drawing a walk. 2 harmless singles through 7 frames. Stretch time here in Detroit. We are, of course, enjoying Intervision Stevie Wonder's 1973 masterpiece, Living for the City, Higher Ground. Don't you worry about a thing. Great record by the great Stevie Wonder. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Wilberwood's not going anywhere. You know, K-line and Cash, they'll get theirs. Frankly, it's the era that kind of bugs Wood at this point. It's 3-0 game. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be Tom Verizor. 47, single 1-6. Line out. Grabarkowitz, 46, off of Wood. There's a clean single. Al K-line. 1-7, hit the column again. It is a base hit to left field with 1 out. Grabarkowitz, this is the first time we've seen the exploitation of the Carlos May arm. He's got a +3 arm in left field. So Grabarkowitz will try and go coast to coast, and he does. Runners are on the corners. They're going to bring it up. They don't want another run to score. For Mickey Stanley. For 11, first C. So bringing the infield up was the key there. And the runner just stayed his ground at third. Runner from first went to second. Second and third, 2 outs, base open, but he will pitch to the dangerous Willie Horton. 1-7, and no, that was not a smart idea to pitch to Willie Horton. Let's take a look at the Horton card. Folks, if there's one team that can hold their water with the Chicago White Sox, it's these Tigers. You can pretty much match them all up. You could say Allen and Horton. You can have Northrop and May. You can have Henderson and what's his doodle? Yeah. But you get the idea. Both these teams match up very well offensively. And today the Tigers are just connecting on more long balls. That's a 3-run homer. It is 5-zip, and it's Norm Cash. 2-6 is a K. You know something, Chi Sox? You should probably think of conserving the arm of Wood to be at least more concerned with the pitch load management here. In a seemingly lost 6-0 game, so we're going to pull him after 7, give him an extra inning of rest. As we go to the 8th, and it'll be Bill Melton, 65, second. Tom Egan, 53, first C. They're not even rolling X's. Buddy Bradford, 210, fly ball to left field. What a masterpiece for Lolich, my goodness. And now a chance to get some innings for one of these White Sox relievers. We'll go Jack Aker in the 8th inning here. Aker was actually a Yankee in 71. They went after him in the offseason. He's a really good reliever. He's got a 2.57 ERA in 56 innings. Was supposed to make this White Sox bullpen impenetrable, but they've been getting knocked around all year. And it's been the starting pitching holding this team together, not the relief pitching. So here's Jack Aker in the 8th against Bill Freehan. 2-9, third. It'll be Dick McAuliffe in Terrell's spot, 6'10", center X. Center field, Henderson, who dropped that first fly ball, makes the grab now. You know, that was a huge momentum swing there. Drop fly ball, then a home run, and then, you know, just kind of like, just kind of that parachute, the air just kind of blowing out of the White Sox parachute after those 2 plays. Jim Northrop, 47, single and a 6, lines out. We'll go to the 9th inning. Here we go. Can Mickey Lolich shut out the big bad Chicago White Sox? One of the better offenses in the American League. Here we go. We'll find out. Leading off is Bucky Dent, 55, and there you go. Right off the Lolich card immediately. Double 1-17, double. And Bucky Dent goes 5 column. He screams to the White Sox dugout. It's the first time they've hit Lolich's card all day. So now the White Sox know 5 column. We'll see if Walt Williams, Aparicio, and Carlos May can take advantage. Pitch to Walt Williams. 58. Hit the 5 column. Too low. Strikeout. Low in the 5 column. 5-4, 5-5, and 5-6. Not 5-8. 1 out. Louis Aparicio. 2-3. Pops short. And with 2 outs, Carlos May. 2-12 rolls to first base, and there it is, a harmless extra base hit. Bucky Dent's the only guy to see second base in this game. My goodness. Mickey, I've run out of descriptions for what Lolich has been doing for Strat-O-Matic. Yeah, he pitched a Game 7 of a World Series they won 5 years ago against the Dodgers. He pitched great in the World Series. They lost to the Mets 2 years ago. Another big game. And, yeah, Mickey Lolich wins Game 1, 6-zip. Lolich, 3-hit shutout. No walks, 6 strikeouts. Jack Aker was decent. Oh, 3 up and 3 down. Wood just threw a couple too many gopher balls. 9 hits, 6 runs. 5 are earned. A walk, 3 strikeouts. Pretty weak effort. And the Tigers are saying, sure, bring him back on 2 days rest. Go right ahead. Thanks. We kill left-handed pitching. 1009, 0108, 6903, 0613, 1306. So, at least for game 1, this is 4101, the 4 seed against the 1 seed. In that effort to protect the number 1 seed, Tigers didn't seem to need it. They come out roaring after the long layoff. And they beat the Chi Sox 6-zip. We'll look at some year-to-date numbers, and then we'll pause this, and we'll resume with the elimination games as they come up. And it could be a long series here, so I got a lot of baseball to play before I get back to you guys. So, Tigers, impressive 23-10 record this year, very efficient. A team that has a lot of sweeps to their credit this year, getting through the schedule early. Only 33 games played because it's over. I mean, they've had 3 or 4 sweeps this year. They're only hitting 257, but they got a 2.98 ERA. Mickey Lolich is 8-2, ladies and gentlemen. 32 times 9, with a 2.66 ERA. He is right on par for that strat card he's got. The bullpen is split between John Hiller and Culver. By the way, those guys have given up exactly 1 earned run in 34 innings. Tigers are really impressive here. The batting average is not that particularly exciting. Norm Cash did hit his 9th homer of the year. Horton hit his 8th. And K-Line hit Al Kaline, that was only his 2nd homer of the year. But he's got 31 walks. And the White Sox had been kind of an up and down year, or a down and up year, depending on how you look at it. They started bad, then they got super hot, then they met the A's, but then they came back and beat up on the Yankees. So the White Sox are now 23-18. They're hitting 285. 3.89 ERA is okay. It's not spectacular. It's okay. Wilbur Wood's just 8-7. He's got 9 complete games. And a 2.82 ERA. So he's fine. He's just not quite having the spectacular year that Mickey Lolich is. But there's still plenty of baseball left. Tom Bradley is 7-2, by the way. He's having a fantastic year for this team. Offensively, Dick Allen is hitting 51 for 151. Well, he's kind of dropped a little bit. He was getting close to 400. Now he's 338. Leading the club in hits, you got plenty of... The good thing about this White Sox team is they spread it around. Allen's got 27 RBI. Ken Henderson, 24. Carlos May, 29. Bill Melton, 24. And the homers are 7, 6, 7, 5. They're all, spread out. So you're not relying on one guy to carry the torch. They've got a very balanced offense. In that particular game we just saw, they were balanced all right. Nobody did anything. They were all awful. Here they are. 3 hits and 30 trips to the plate with no walks in that game we just saw. So that's it from game 1. We'll pick this thing up with the next games 2, 3, and then 4 or 5 if necessary, 6 if necessary, 7 if necessary, picking them up in the closing moments if they happen. So we'll see you soon. Thank you. Okay, folks, great series. This is the box score from game 1 you saw. Mickey Lolich, 3-hit shutout, beating Wilbur Wood in game 1 in Detroit. Tigers up 1-0 in the series. We go to game number 2. It is Tom Bradley versus Joe Coleman in this one. White Sox get in the early start a double single walk, a 2-base error off of Willie Horton, who's a 4.16. Huge weakness they have out there. 3-0, but they start getting to Bradley in this one. RBI single by Northrup. We get a solo shot by Norm Cash. Tony Muser, a 2 defensive first baseman, not having a good day. He gets into a double play here in the 4th. Gives up a single here in the 2nd inning. After 2 strikeouts and a single, he gives up another single off of 2 defense at first base. That's 2 dice rolls of 1 or 2 in one game. And that sets up a Willie Horton 3-run homer. And suddenly, a 3-0 White Sox lead is now 5-3. The White Sox, to their credit, rally in the 9th. But the Tigers have a very clever bullpen. They have the lefty Sherman, the righty Culver, the lefty Hiller. It is switch hitter Bob Stinson, doesn't matter lefty or righty. He hits a home run to make it a one-run game. Carlos May, after a walk, reaches on a fielder's choice. John Hiller comes in. Carlos May runs to second base on catcher's indifference with one out. Or with, was there one out at the time? There was 2 outs at the time. But they let him run to second base, and they're like, okay, well, fine. Well, now we'll walk Dick Allen. So they don't pitch to Dick Allen. So now you have 2 on, and there's no more guys on the bench because Aparicio got hurt, so Bucky Dent had to play shortstop. Egan was used as the pinch hitter who walked, and Walt Williams grounded out. So it set up George Orta versus the lefty, John Hiller, and John Hiller got him out. So tough, a lot of fight for those White Sox at the end of Game 2. Tigers win it, however, 5-4. So we go to Comiskey, and they're down 0-2, and the Tigers are riding a high. Game 3, it's Bill Hands against Stan Bonson. Now, the White Sox have been thinking, once we get past the starter 9s, Mickey Lolich and Joe Coleman, the rest of this Tiger rotation kind of mediocre. Bill Hands and Tom Timmerman aren't all that. So it's up to the White Sox. I don't care who's pitching for the White Sox. How about putting some crooked numbers on the board? And they did. But before that, the Tigers get a 2-run homer by Verizon, 2-zip. But then the White Sox get it going in the second. 2 doubles, a single, sac fly, a single, 2 runs. 2 more in the 4th. Tony Muser now suddenly getting hot. He's 3 for 4 in this game. A triple, a double, a single by Carlos May, who's been hot in this series and all year to boot. 4 more hits in the 5th. Bill Hands gives up 2 hits to lead off the 6th inning. I don't know why he's still in there. His final line, 5 innings, 15 hits, 2 more batters in the 6th that scored 7 runs. But the White Sox bullpen has a difficult time trying to close this thing out. It seemed like an easy win for Stan Bonson. He's only a starter 6, so keep that in mind. He's just a starter 6 pitcher, so by the time you get into the 7th inning, if you can knock him out, oh boy, and they did. Then they go to Jack Aker. Then they go to Dave Lemons. Then they go to Jack Aker. Then they go to Terry Forster. It's a 7-6 game in the 9th inning, and they go to the new closer, Bart Johnson. I haven't seen much of him lately. Wild thing. Wilder than, hitting the Bull mascot, Bart Johnson. Doesn't know where the ball's really going, but it's going there pretty darn fast. Gets the save. Let's just call it that. He walked 3, struck out 2 in the 9th, and the White Sox barely hung on to beat the Tigers. Boy, it seems like it's hard to beat these Tigers. White Sox won the game 7-6. And so now, advantage White Sox, they're going to send Wilbur Wood out for a Game 4. And they frankly didn't even need him to do that. They got the victory, as you would expect, because it's Wilbur Wood. But the reason is they beat up Tom Timmerman, the number 4 starter of the Tigers. They unloaded on him in the 1st. Carlos May and Dick Allen, they seem to do better 1st and 2nd than 3rd and 4th. Double, single, walk, a reach on an error single. An RBI double by Stinson, that really cool switch-hitting catcher. 3-run homer by Carlos May. This is a 12-1 game. And you're thinking, darn, why couldn't they have saved Wilbur Wood for the next game since you scored 12 runs? Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. By the way, Willie Horton hit the home run. I think he's homered at every game. That was the only Tiger run in this one. It's a 12-1 finish. They did pull Wood after 8 innings, considering that if you're going to throw him 2 days rest and the game's been decided, how about pulling him a little bit early? So they did. Aker finishes it. It's 12-1. Home teams won every game. Now advantage back to Detroit. Game 5 is back in Tiger Stadium in the divisional round. This is what we decided to do in the scheduling so that the team with a bye gets Game 5 at home. And it pays off. It's Lou Krause, the number 5 starter for the White Sox, against Mickey Lolich, who waited that extra day, unlike Mr. Wood. And Mr. Lolich He had a good day, not as good as the first day, but he gave up a solo homer to Bill Melton, a 2-run shot to Walt Williams. But meanwhile, Lou Krause got knocked around in the first inning, homers by Gates Brown, Willie Horton, said that again, and then a home run by Gates Brown again in the 5th. It's a 5-3 final, and that means that the Tigers and the home team has won all 5 games. The Tigers are up 3-2, but Game 6 is back in Comiskey Park. And interestingly, Wilbur Wood did not get on the airplane and fly to Detroit. He stayed at home, knowing that he'd have 2 days at home, watch a game on TV, watch his teammates on TV, enjoy a day off in Chicago, you know, go take a drive up Lake Michigan or something, and then come back and pitch this game, Game 6. It's Joe Coleman versus Wilbur Wood. Game 6. White Sox need this victory to even the series. Bottom of the 1st, they get to Coleman. A single by Dick Allen, a triple by Orta. An error by third baseman Billy Grabarkowitz, a 2-14 third baseman. We talked about how good he was playing defensively. Not so fast. And they get 2 runs there. They get a run in the second base on your bases loaded double play by George Orta. White Sox would strand runners getting these 3 runs. They put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They put 8 men on, score 3 times. Tigers get a sac fly by Bill Freehand in the 4th. It's 2-1. Or, I should say it's 3-1. And then in the 6th inning, they load the bases with walks. This time Orta gets a bloop single, making it 4-1. And that's your score. It is 6 innings in the books in Game 6. If the White Sox win this one, we'll pick it up in the Game 7 in Detroit. But we'll begin in the 7th inning. White Sox are up 4-1. Wilbur Wood's in there. And then we pull the defense. Yeah, we actually put Buggy Dent in at second base. So Wood's got all his defense in there in a 3-run lead. Top of the 7th. Norm Cash. 110's a walk. Dick McCullough for the injured Jerry Terrell. Terrell got the start as a right-handed batter against Wood, but he got hurt his first time up, so McCullough's in there. He walked his last time up. Dick McCullough, 47 off Wood is a K. Jim Northrup. 1-3 is a 4-6-3 double play. Turned by Bucky Dent at second base. 4-1 game. Stretch time here in Chicago. We are listening to Baby Huey's story. The living legend Baby Huey passed away in 1970 after a record or 2. These got Curtis Mayfield's Impressions Curtum record label band backing him up with this killer LP, and this is a bunch of bonus instrumentals by that, Superfly band of Curtis Mayfield's backing up Baby Huey. Great stuff here. Baby Huey story. All right, back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Joe Coleman is sticking around. Now we're looking at bullpen conservation, and Hiller's well rested should the Tigers come back in the 8th or 9th. But here is Ken Henderson in the bottom of the 7th. 43, right X. That's your 2-0 Al Kaline. He makes the grab. Buddy Bradford, 49, K's, done with 2 outs. Tony Muser, 69, flies a left. We go to the 8th. Wood could go 9 today. It'll be Tom Verizor leading off. 1-6, bounce to short. Billy Grabarkowitz, 58, skies to center. And Al Kaline, 54, center X. This is Henderson made an error in Game 1, has been flawless since then. 2-6 makes the grab. Fans are on their feet here in Chicago. They sense the home team's going to win all their games in Comiskey. Coleman's going to continue, just giving up the 4 runs. Most of it happened early. White Sox had a golden opportunity to knock Coleman out. He didn't do it, and Coleman's still here. Aparicio. 47 is a K. Bob Stinson 1-3. First, Carlos May 110 right. We go to the 9th. Can the Tigers somehow knock Wilbur Wood out in the 9th inning and end the White Sox season? That's what we're looking at here. Very low chance of that happening, but that's why we play these games, folks. Mickey Stanley leads off. 2-9. Let's take a look at Mickey Stanley's card of 1971 to 292 average, one of his highest batting averages in the timeline. Kills lefties. And is in the game with Gates Brown on the left on the bench against Wood. 2-9 is a single. Now you got the dangerous Willie Horton, but a homer does not tie the game. The pitch to Horton. 1-5. Jeez. Let's take a look at the card. There's nothing you can do, folks, if you just want to intentionally walk the guy and then pitch to the tie run after Horton. You're welcome to. Willie Horton has been tearing it up in Strat the last few years. Went to the All-Star game. I've lost track of the number of home runs in this series. But suddenly, it is now 4-3. And now Wood has to face the dangerous Bill Freehand. 2-8. He gets him the ground to short. We have an out. Now we have Norm Cash and his 32 home runs. 46 off of Wood, single 1-14. That is a base hit, and we knew this was going to happen sooner or later. We have finally broken Wilbur Wood. Yes, it is possible to break Wilbur Wood, and it just happened. By getting 3 men to reach in the 9th inning, and oh boy, White Sox fans have their hands on the heads as the manager walks to the mound slowly. Oh my. 8 1/3, and they're going to turn this thing over to you-know-who, Terry Forster. Forster has been, well, awful this year. He has been awful. And he's got a man at first with 1 out in the 9th inning. Terry Forster shouldn't be awful, because in 72 with the White Sox, he was 6-5 with a 2.25 ERA in 100 innings. We've set this up perfectly for him. He has 2 lefties that they can't take out of the game, because on the bench, they are stuck with the lefty Stevenson, the lefty Gates Brown, so he has to face the lefty McAuliffe and the lefty Northrup. And if he can't get either or both of those guys out, then he will face Tom Verizor, who doesn't have power against lefties. Not that hard, Terry. Not that hard. Read the John Hiller book of closing if you need to. But Terry Forster comes on to the 9th inning to face Dick McAuliffe with a tie run at first and 1 out in the 9th inning. Let's take a look at Dick McAuliffe's card. If you're wondering if he's rolled 1-5 in this series, the answer is yes. He did it yesterday. Fresh off a solo shot in Game 5 off of Luke Rouse. Or off of Wilbur Wood, I should say. Or maybe it was the game before that. I don't know. Anyway, here is the pitch to Dick McAuliffe. 110. He connects with a single to center field with 1 out. Oh, it's Norm Cash. Never mind. Norm Cash will not go coast to coast. But the Tigers have the tie and lead runners on base for Jim Northrup. Let's take a look at Northrup's card. He's not that good at all against lefties. Hint, hint, Terry Forster. So go get him out, right? 307 hitting, Jim Northrup, 2 on, 1 out in the 9th. And here is the pitch. 56 is a K. And with 2 outs, it'll come down to Tom Verizor. Let's take a look at Verizor. If you're wondering if I should bring in a righty to get him out, no. Because Bart Johnson walks too many guys. Chances are he'd walk 2 men and give up the tie game. Terry Forster is going to have to put his big boy pants on and pitch to Tom Verizor here in the 9th inning with 2 on and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Tom Verizor. 35. Well, that's a walk, and the bases are loaded. with 2 outs in a 4-3 game in the 9th. And now you got Billy, king of the walk, Grabarkowitz. Let's take a look at his card. Billy Grabarkowitz hit .225 in 1971 with the Dodgers, but had 19 walks and 71 at-bats. However, he does have... Oh, no, he actually does have slightly more walks against lefties than righties. But... oh, I can't let... Oh, my gosh. Should I let Bart Johnson pitch to this guy? And they got K-line. Yeah, we're going to do it. Here it comes, folks. We knew Terry Forster could not do the job because he hasn't done the job all year. He stinks. So he is gone after getting 1 out and putting 2 guys on base in a 4-3 game. They're going to turn this thing over to Bart Johnson in the 9th with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Yes, he walks guys, but he walks lefties. Actually, let me remanage this. This is critical here. I'm gonna rethink this one here. And what I'm gonna rethink, and you're wondering why I'm rethinking this, is ain't no freaking way I'm bringing a right-handed pitcher in with Gates Brown on the bench. So that wins. Gates Brown is just sitting there chomping at the bit on the bench as a .338 hitter. So there's no way you go with a right-handed pitcher in this situation. Either you stick with Forster or you go Dave Lemons. Let me take a look at Dave Lemons. He's no shakes either. Nope. That was just a very long mound visit. And they're not going to bring in Mr. Bart Johnson. Terry Forster is going to have to do this himself. He's going to have to get out of this mess with the bases loaded and 1 out. With the bases loaded and 2 outs to the 9th inning against Billy Grabarkowitz. He's going to have to figure this one out. And here we go. Here is the pitch now to Billy Grabarkowitz. 38, and he walked him and tied the game. The Tigers rally for 3 in the 9th so far. And now you got Al Kaline. Now I will say this. Al Kaline, you probably aren't going to pinch hit for him with Gates Brown, because a walk gives you the lead. So in this particular case, I will take the joke that is Terry Forster out of there, who has basically been destroying the White Sox season for quite some time now. And we'll go to Bart Johnson in the 9th against the righty Hall of Famer Al Kaline. The kid's going to face the Hall of Famer because Forster is a fat tub of goo and can't pitch. Trying to force a Game 7, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. The bases are still loaded. You got McAuliffe, Verizon, and Grabarkowitz on the bags. Al Kaline at the plate, no pinch hitter. The pitch to Al Kaline from Bart Johnson. 4-11 is a fly ball into left field. Carlos May is okay at best. He's a 3 E5. A big play here for the 3 left fielder. E5. And he cannot make a play. It's a double. Carlos May cannot make the defensive stop. It is a 2-run double. And heartbreak in Chicago as their bullpen, as they've done all year long. The worst bullpen in baseball, even though their earned run averages are all below 3. Looks like they blew their season. 6-4 Tigers, jubilant in the 9th. 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and it's Mickey Stanley against the righty Bart Johnson. Here's the pitch. 58, and of course he strikes him out. 1 batter too late. It is a 6-4 game. Coleman was not removed. He's still in there. The Tigers, nothing else to bring in. They just stuck with the players they had, took the walks when they came, and yeah,
they had 7 men reach in the 9th inning off of Wood, Forster, and Bart Johnson. And if you're keeping track of that, 3 guys reached off of Wilbur Wood. 1, 2, 3 guys reached off of Forster, and 1 guy got that double off the Carlos May defense, which is a tough break for Bart Johnson. So in the 9th, it is Dick Allen, Bucky Dent, not George Orta, Bill Melton, and Ken Henderson. Now with all righties coming up, Joe Coleman's going to stick around. He's going to stick around, folks. He's a starter 9. He's going to stick around in the 9th inning. They're not going to go to Hiller with a 2-run lead. All of Coleman's defense is in there. And it'll be Dick Allen leading off in the bottom of the 9th, down by 2. 2-9 for Dick Allen as a strikeout. Now we got Bucky Dent. Let's take a look at Bucky's card. He was the defensive replacement for George Orta. Oddly enough, they really needed a defensive replacement for Carlos May, but that does not exist on this team. But Bucky Dent does have on bases. That's all we need here is a walker single for the big bats that follow. Here is the pitch, the Bucky Dent. 67 is a K. And with 2 outs. And by the way, just got to mention this now. Joe Coleman pitched in the World Series 2 years ago against the New York Mets and had a wonderful World Series, even though he lost. And now he thinks he's on the road to get back to that World Series. But before we do that, we got to dispatch these White Sox. 2 outs in the 9th inning. You got Bill Melton. Let's take a look at his card. Melton, 33 home runs in 1971 and a .269 batting average. Don't need a homer here as much as an on base against Joe Coleman with 2 outs in the 9th. Here's the pitch to Bill Melton. 38 and Melton. Here we go. This is a single chance. Single 1-11. He rolls the 7 and reaches base. Bill Melton gets the base hit and the series is still going. And now you got Ken Henderson. And now here comes the mound visit and they're going to pull Joe Coleman. After getting 2 of the outs in the 9th inning, the tie run is Ken Henderson and they're going to go to John Hiller. And John Hiller will show Terry Forster how to save games. John Hiller, a magnificent 1973, 10-5, a 1.44 ERA in 125 innings, and has a chance right here and now to send the Detroit Tigers back to the League Championship Series for the 3rd time in 5 years. This Detroit Tiger team is no stranger to postseason experience here. John Hiller, Ken Henderson. We'll show you Ken Henderson's card. As you can see, plenty of more power and extra base hits against righties, not so much against lefties. John Hiller will face Ken Henderson. The tie run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And here is the pitch. 56 off of Hiller is a strikeout. And Hiller closes it out. And basically, the season's just rolled on like they were rolling on. The Tigers bullpen closes out a victory. And the White Sox bullpen ruins their season, as probably was predicted. It was just a matter of time till the White Sox got eliminated. Was it going to be in the wild card round, the divisional round? Would they make it to the League Championship Series? Not with their bullpen. That is just awful. And keep in mind, the cards themselves are good. The Strat-O-Matic cards are outstanding. They just can't pitch. They can't pitch with them. They got ERAs of 6. So there it is. That's it. The Tigers come back in the 9th inning, win 6-4. This is the first road win in this series, and they beat the White Sox 4-2. Hiller gets the save, gives up a strikeout. All he did was strike out the last batter. Coleman stuck around, 8 hits and 4 runs. It all happened early here. There were errors in this. That was one of my considerations about leaving Coleman in, is that he really didn't give up a lot of hits in this game. Just 8 and 8 2/3. Errors hurt him early. Of those 4 runs, only 2 were earned. Did walk 6, struck out 10. The losing pitcher is not Wilbur Wood. It would be Forster. Forster came in and did nothing well. He gave up a hit, a hit, 2 runs, 2 walks, and a K. Bart Johnson, he gave up that unfortunate double to K-line off of defense. Just 1 hit and a K. Wilbur Wood just ran out of gas in the 9th inning after pitching on 2 days rest for so many. So he's charged with all 3 of these runs are earned in the 9th, plus the run in the 4th. So the 4 runs are all earned. Walked 3. And those walks were 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 7th. 4 strikeouts. 1019 0109 6848 6848 56 611 611 56. So if you can manage to break a pitcher who pitches on 2 days rest, who otherwise has to come out of the game, forcing that same team to go to their pathetic bullpen, you can beat them. That's what the Tigers just did. 4 games to 2. A Tiger team with plenty of postseason experience against a White Sox team that really wanted to win their games by large margins. White Sox would really have to be a front runner, get like a 7-0 lead or something like that, and hold on for dear life. So 4-2 means that the White Sox finished just 4 games over 500. So there they are. White Sox 25-21. They had 268 with a 3.94 ERA. And here we go. Terry Forster, 11 earned runs in 15 innings. That's a 6.60 ERA for him. I can read the other ones off. Aker 4.5. Lemons 14 in 16 innings. 787. Lou Krause 12 in 21. Lou Krause 514. How about Bart Johnson? Bart Johnson 13 earned in 32. 365 for Bart Johnson, but he Bart Johnson in 32 innings walked 29 batters. So when you look at those earned runs, chances are his inherited runner scored, as just happened in the game you saw. Inherited runners aren't part of earned run average, of course. And there you are. Now the Tigers, who have this knack of not needing to go 7 games or elimination games very frequently, is they like sweeps. In this particular instance, the White Sox got into 6 games. The Tigers are now 26-12, hitting .256, but with a 3.19 earned run average. John Hiller has 7 saves. Fred Culver has 5. Those 2 relief pitchers have pitched 35 innings and have given up 1 run. Excuse me. So those 2 relievers, if I can get this to go correctly, plus 9 divided by 35. Let's see. A 0.25 earned run average. 1 run in 35 innings for George Culver, John Hiller. Norm Cash, 10 homers. Willie Horton. Mickey Lowell should be the series MVP because he won both his starts, but he didn't pitch in Game 6. Willie Horton has 12 home runs now, and he's 47 for 148. Hitting .318. 12 homer, 35 RBI. Norm Cash is 10 homer and 34 RBIs for the Tigers. So they're 26-12, 25-21. Here we go. So the Tigers win 42. 26-12 is 14 over. And the White Sox are 25-21. Just 4 over 500. Well, we know one thing, that in the League Championship Series, the Tigers will get home field. They're the number 1 seed, and they defended it. They were 12 over, now they're 14 over 500. The Detroit Tigers will face the winner of Baltimore-Oakland. And it's kind of cool because Baltimore and Oakland played in the 71 League Championship Series, and Detroit and Oakland played in the 72 League Championship Series. Those are the last 3 teams alive in the American League presently. So that's it tonight. Break up your Detroit Tigers. They beat the White Sox, coming back on the road in the 9th inning. I mean, very impressive victory. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.